Hi, so I'm Claire, and I've been doing an internship in Criteo for 1 year now, and I'm very happy to say that I will be full-time software developer starting next Monday. But yay, thank you. And I wanted to talk about what I did during my internship here. So I'm going back to the title. Yeah, so my team works with React, which is a library for JavaScript. And when I arrived in Criteo, I was told that we needed to add a new theme in our design system. And so my first question was, why? So little disclaimer, I'm not a professional yet. So my my questions were very junior or basic, but I think that it can bring new ideas or insights to ask simple questions to some of problems you can have while working in a big company like Criteo. So I asked why. Why do we need a new theme? Maybe because the current theme is not very modern, I guess. Or like, yeah, we want a cute website, so maybe we need to update it. That wasn't the real the real issue. It was that most of Criteo's app are made with Angular, which is a which is a framework of JavaScript that is different from React. And so we had some inconsistencies across our applications. So you can see, maybe it's hard to see if you don't look for a long time, but this is the same component. It's a table, and it's not exactly the same. So the user experience is not ideal. When you look at, maybe it's not very visible here, but the one in Angular and the one in React were different. Anyway, this is way before I came into Criteo. That was a problem that was discussed about for a long time, apparently. And they decided to make one single source of truth for our designs that was going to be called Nani Design System. And the team in the React team will make the same, will use the same design system as the Angular teams. So the designers, they made a very nice documentation. You can see here an example. It's for chips. You have variants, you have guidelines, and all the rules you have to follow for each component. And they made a Figma file we had to follow to implement the design system as well. And so my second question was, how does this work? Well, what is a design system anyway? I don't know. Is it a system for designs? Yeah. So the design system we have in Criteo is similar to most design systems. We are using tokens. They are like atoms in a design system. It's the smallest elements you can have. So they are basically variants for colors or spacing or the shadows, etc. So for example, you can have different sizes. You can have small equals 8 pixels, medium equals 16 pixels, etc. And with these tokens, what you do is you take them and you use them in components. A component is basically just a building block for your application. So it can be a button, it can be an input, a badge, etc. And so we are using these variables so we don't have to guess what a component should look like. And they can have variants. So here you can see there are 3 variants for the toggle button components, a small, medium, and large, for example. And then you have layouts. It's basically a component made of many components, and it's more complex. So here you have an empty state component. It has an image, a title, a button, etc. Okay, very nice. And then it's when I arrived, my first day, and I was told, okay, Claro, let's do it. Let's go. Let's make the design system theme. And so how did we do it? We used already made components from Material UI. Why? Because it's supposed to be faster to use pre-made components instead of making everything by yourself. And Material UI is a very well-known library. So it's been tested. The community is very big, so it's reliable. Problem is that the components are already customized. So sometimes you have to override the styles. And I thought it was harder to override something existing rather than just making your own component. So sometimes I would just dreamed of just deleting Material UI and make my own, like everything from scratch, but I couldn't. And also the problem is that Criteo's naming conventions are different than Material UI's. For example, here I messed up with the thing on the right, but you can see that the button components in Material UI were called contained or outline, but in Criteo it's called primary, very strong, or secondary, weak, etc. So we had to map everything manually to make it work, and it would take a lot of time. So the good thing about the tokens is that you can make like a dictionary like that and map everything. So you don't have to think about what color you're using anymore. And Criteo design system uses semantic colors. It means that color has a meaning. For example, success is going to be green or an error is going to be red. So I didn't have to think at all about what color I was using. I would just say, okay, I'm using the primary main color, and it would just be available to me. And since it's variable, a designer could change a color and it would update the theme automatically. So it's very nice. And then we used Emotion, which is a library for JavaScript, to override the styles. And that was the trickiest part for me. I have very mixed emotions with Emotion. So the thing is, when I would change something in a class in Material UI, it would change all the components across all the design system. So if, for example, I updated the paper component or card component, my lead dev would tell me, Claire, what's happening? Like the model component broke yesterday. But I didn't touch it. So yeah, everything was breaking all the time. And someone told me a good idea, like a very good idea actually, is that, we could make custom classes for all the components and it wouldn't be a problem anymore. So we did that at the end, but first was very tricky. And we used Storybook to develop and document our work. Storybook is a library also for React. And it's using stories. So a story is the way you use a component, and you can see how it is rendered in an isolated environment. So for example, this is the button story. You have all the parameters and all the way you can use it that are generated automatically. And also you can see all the variations we've made for the button, for example, disabled or the size. And it's very easy to implement. And we used that to do the QA also because everything was there. So it was very nice to have everything at the same place. We also made the tests there. So we can simulate users' interactions for the components, and when you open the Storybook page, the test will run automatically. And we also made accessibility tests. Everything is in the same place. I really like that. Yeah. So what I learned during my year in Criteo, working on this design system, is that when you work in a big company, it's important to be intentional when you want to have when you want everyone to do the same thing and be consistent. It's not a given. And so it's important to adopt some strategies from the beginning. Then second thing I learned is that we already had implemented components in our applications, and we had now to put the new logic and the new components on top of the existing logic. And that was the hardest part, actually. It's like trying to fit a peg in a hole, kind of. So biggest time spent was just trying to use the new components in real situations. And I never thought about that because, like when you're junior, you have never worked in very big projects that have long history. And I thought it was a very great way also to standardize the way we were working across teams and even within the team. Sometimes we wouldn't use the components the same way, and we would do things that not in a consistent way. And this was a good opportunity to standardize everything. Finally, I think maybe people would wonder why do you have two different libraries, one for React and one for Angular? And apparently, this was a topic some time ago that we could do a platform agnostic design system for whole Criteo. And it wasn't it didn't work actually because of time and I guess cost problems, kind of say limitations. But I think it would be very nice to have only one library for everyone and maybe simplify it. But yeah, it wouldn't have given me the opportunity to work on that. So I don't know. Yeah, thank you, Hudson.